Embracing diversity. Graceful exchange. Honoring God. Graceful exchange. Where wisdom meets harmony in every conversation.
All right. We are here. It is Wednesday night, and we are here. The Graceful Exchange Live podcast is on the air. Finally. We've had quite a bit of technical difficulties around this place, and so we are on. Finally, we won't be on long, all right? But we are on, and we're going to have a great time in this graceful exchange. So again, welcome to Wednesday night live podcast for the Graceful Exchange. And we are so grateful that you would take time to jump on. Do me a favor. As I always say, let's like, let's comment, let's share. All right. So like it, heart it, comment, and share. We love to interact with our audience. And so do me the favor and let's go ahead and jump in. Good evening to everyone. Good evening to everyone. Kingdom blessings. God bless you. Grace and peace. Praise the Lord. Whatever you say.
Hallelujah.
All right. So we are grateful again that you're on. Why don't you do me a favor real quick? Again, like, heart, comment, and share. Let's have a time on tonight. Again, we won't be on here long. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties, but we are here. We are here. We are steadfast and unmovable. All right. And so we pushed on through to make sure that we come and interact with our audience. That was so wonderful and waiting. I appreciate you so much. Let's go ahead and introduce again my team that don't need to be introduced, right? They need no introduction. We have Asia Sade.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, we have Dr. Baker.
Hey.
We got Tony.
Hey, y'all.
And we got Pastor Mama Mo.
Hey.
All right. And so we're going to, again, jump in to our podcast show for tonight. Hello to all of you. I'm seeing quite a few. Pastor Nash. Hello, Minister Priscilla. The greatest boss and leader on this side, Edith Spells. I'm always looking for her. Good evening. Good evening to you. All right. So if I missed anybody, I will say again, good evening to you as you're joining us. Do me the favor again, though. Like, heart, comment, and share. Sharing, liking, hearting, comment, all that's free. All right. They're not going to charge you for that. So it's free. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go with our business highlights. Let's go ahead and jump in there. All right, the business and sponsor spotlight.
All right, everyone. Fall registration for Remnant Theological Institute and Seminary and Open Arms International Bible College and Seminary is now open. You can start registering for this coming school academic year. It is a 20-month program that we have. We have virtual and campus courses. You can receive certificates, diplomas, advanced diplomas, associates, bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and honorary doctorate degrees. So if you are interested in furthering your education, make sure you visit openremnantseminary.org so that way you can submit your application. All right. Go to openremnantseminary.org to apply today. I am one of the graduating students of Remnant Theological Institute and Seminary coming this fall. I am very excited. Master's program is winding down. Praise Jesus. So make sure you all get in. It's a wonderful school, accredited and all the rest. So make sure you go ahead and visit the website for more information and to apply. Revival Fire. This is our prayer and prophetic gathering coming Friday, August the 2nd, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. Join Apostle Dr. Timothy M. Jones Sr. and Timothy Jones Ministries as there is a prayer and prophetic gathering right here at Remnant Empowerment Center, 2324 Orchard Street, right here in Blue Island. Our next community food giveaway by Operation Engage, the in partnership with Remnant Empowerment Center, is this Friday, July the 12th, 2024 at 5 o'clock p.m. Again, right here at Remnant Empowerment Center, 2324 Orchard Street, Blue Island, Illinois. Come on out, get a blessing, be a blessing, help us serve the community. We are out here, and so are the people. So come on out again to get blessed and be a blessing. Orchard Street Christian Daycare Center is now hiring, looking for a qualified teacher and teacher's assistant. If you or someone you know is interested in employment, have them submit their resumes to oscdcemployment@gmail.com. And last but not least, we are enrolling for new scholars, 15 months, toddlers up to 12 years of age. This is a Christian-based daycare center where your scholars will get quality care. Our hours of operation are 6:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. If you're interested, you want to send an email to Orchard Street Christian Daycare@gmail.com or give us a call at 708-489-5324. All right, that concludes our business sponsors.
All right. So you've heard it right here on the Graceful Exchange Live podcast. There's quite a bit going on, and we would love for you to participate and be a part of. Again, if you know someone that's hiring, we're looking for qualified. Somebody say qualified. All right. We're looking for qualified. You need some credentials, right? To teach. You need, yeah. All right. So we're looking for qualified teachers to come and join our team. I saw my friend on here, Pastor Dr. James Taylor. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. I see you, Rachel. Good evening to you. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining. Won't you do me the favor of what? Liking, hearting, sharing, and comment. Let's talk. Let's talk. All right. So we got a great subject tonight. All right. So we're going to wake up, shake ourselves, and we ready to talk, right? So we're talking about living a joyful life. Living a joyful life. What does that look like, right? What does that look like? It's easy to say that we have joy. It's easy to just speak that out of your mouth. But what does it really look like to live a joyful life? Not just a happy life, because we know that happiness is predicated on what is happening, right? So happiness can be temporary, right? So what does it mean to live a joyful life? We want to live a joyful life. I hope you're living a joyful life, right? There's so much going on in the earth and in the world around, right? And there's a lot of people that are depressed, a lot of people that have to fake like they have joy. There's a lot of people who are going through all types of trial, tribulation, issues, right? Got a lot of folks is depressed, suicidal, and all the rest. And we've got to remember that it is important for us to live, but not just live, but live joyfully, live peacefully. And so I wanted to talk about this tonight because I believe this is so important, especially in this season, that we live a joyful life. That we find joy regardless of what we're going through. Find joy in it. Find joy through it, right? We all go through tests. We all go through trials. But what does it look like to live a joyful life? So that's what we're talking about tonight. And we want you to stay on with us. We want you to talk to us because, again, I don't know about y'all, but don't nobody got time to be going through the motions, playing like we happy, playing like we got joy, playing like we got peace. No, we need to have this thing for real. And in order to live in this place called peace and joy, we're going to have to be honest and real with ourselves. We have to acknowledge where we are emotionally, psychologically, and all the rest. We gotta acknowledge where we are. If we need help, if we need therapy, if we need counsel, we need to acknowledge, recognize, and admit that this is where we are, right? And so let's go ahead and have a talk. So what does it look like when you really live in joy? That's where we're going to start. What does it look like when you really live in joy? I live on Joy Street. I live on Joy Street. And so what is it like living on Joy Street? What does it look like living in the peace community? What does it look like? You know what I'm saying? When you find your place in the love neighborhood, you know. So let's talk about that tonight, and we hope that you jump in and have a conversation with us. All right. So yeah, what does it look like living a joyful life? What does it look like to live a joyful life? All right, y'all can start it, and you know I'll jump in wherever I fit in. All right. So, what does it look like? What do you believe it looks like? You can talk to me in the comments, talk to me at the table. But what does it look like?
I think one, like you said, living in on Joy Street and peace and all of those things, not losing your mind in the face of adversity and conflict and confusion, still having your peace, and regardless of what's going on, you still find the silver lining in everything. That's what it looks like to me. Like, I've gone through a lot, and so to the point that you wouldn't know even when I'm going through, because I still have joy somewhere. Even if I'm unhappy at the moment, something's happening where I'm like, okay, I can get through this. It don't feel like it. I'm going through some stuff. I need some help. Jesus, help. But I'm still able to make it through. And I don't always look like I'm going through. Because somewhere there's some joy in my back pocket. Somewhere, it just shows up whether I'm looking for it or not. So for me, it's kind of that, a thing that you have, and it kind of kicks in when you need it to. You don't have to ask, okay, Joy, where you at? It kind of just comes and shows itself when you need. I feel like when you need it most. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I think living the joyful life is being one that does not identify with the misery loves company.
Right.
Where you have people that when they're down, they want everybody else to be down, kind of thing. If you're having an issue, like you said, you want to connect to others to have more issue or to rest in that pity party. I think that living a joyful life is just processing through, like you saying, the rough. We have those moments, right? Life comes with troubles, with issues, and all the rest. But having a joyful life means that I don't have to necessarily pull you down into my negative space, into the space that may not be so peaches and cream for me right now. Living joyful life is I'm going to, as you just said, push beyond how I feel, and try my best to remain in a state of peace versus adding to by drawing in others or connecting with others that have that spirit of it likes company, the misery, right? And dwelling there, staying there. Joyful people don't stay in the slump. Joyful people don't stay in the funk or in the rut. You have the ability to keep moving and to keep going, and to, like you said, at some point as you keep going, you feel the lifting of whatever is happening, right? So I just think that it's one of those things that mentally you are not stuck in whatever the circumstances are, because our circumstances, like you said, are temporary. They don't last always. Nothing is going to be forever except for God and his word, right? So everything has the ability to change, be different, shift. Circumstances are going to be good, bad, and indifferent. But what we can do is have the mentality of peace is still my portion. Joy is still my portion. Love is still my portion, and continue to train our thought patterns to say, okay, I ain't going to dwell here on a negative Nancy street, since we talked about roads and avenues, right? So just having a mind that says, I'm not going to be in misery. I ain't connecting to folks that's in misery, and I don't want to pull nobody else down if I'm not in the best place.
Right.
So
living a joyful life, to me, you have to command your day.
Come on.
You got to walk in it, even when you're going through. You got to shake yourself loose and say, I'm going to have a good day today. You have to tell yourself, I'm going to have a good day. Even though negativity will come, even though you have problems, situations will come, you got to train and command your day. I'm going to have a good day no matter what. And when negativity comes, you have to push it out. You have to actually live on Joy Street.
Right.
You
Right.
have to actually live happy, be happy, because trials and tribulations are gonna come. They're
Yeah.
gonna come. You're gonna have them with you. You're gonna have them in your family. Things we see on the TV, things we at work. But you have to say, "I'm going to have a good day." You just can't wake up and have negativity, or wake up feeling blue and don't do anything about it.
Mhm.
You yourself have to say, "I'm going to do something about this. I'm not going to live in this. I'm not going to live like this. I'm not going to be negative. I'm not going to be sad. I'm just going to live happy." You have to command your day.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
Yeah. So now it is my turn, right? So for what joy, what that joy is for me. And it's just like what everyone else said, but as we said it in our own ways. So for me, I experience joy when I experience a profound sense of settledness in trying times. So no matter what I'm going through, no matter what it looks like, no matter what circumstances say, no matter what I have to deal with, I know that, again, as you have said, happiness is temporary.
Right.
But I find that joy is everlasting.
Yeah.
So it don't come easy. It's a discipline that you have to deal with. But nevertheless, it's a subtleness, right? It is a radical authenticity where my values and my choices align. So these are conscious decisions that we must make, right, in order to live on the street called joy. And so it's up to every individual. No negative Nancy can't pull me in, or none of that different stuff. I don't live on that street. I don't want to be on that street. I'm settled within myself. And being settled within myself, then what happens for me is I'll help you and I'll pray for you going through what you're going through, but I just can't live on that street with you, right? Because we ought to be helpers one to another. So yeah, that's what it means to me and for me. In whatever I go through, I can get through it because I have joy down on the inside.
My. We are talking about living a joyful life. Living a joyful life. Again, you have joined the Graceful Exchange Live podcast. Do me a favor, while you're watching, go ahead and like, heart it, share, and let's comment. Let's see what our audience is saying. For some reason, the link where we try to display your comments, it's just kind of went out on our end. So we have to look at our devices and kind of follow you guys so we can still interact. Let's see what they're talking about here. Okay.
Saying a lot of good stuff.
So we have Toya Hodges. Hey, Toya. She says, living in the moment without regrets, taking nothing for granted, doing the things that I am passionate about, and living in purpose, being true to myself. That is so key. So key. Be true to you. Be true to who you are, right? And so taking absolutely nothing for granted. We talked about that briefly, being grateful for life, health, and strength, right? Taking absolutely nothing for granted, because the way folks are leaving here today, we don't have time for the extra. I'm telling you,
Not at all.
I don't, if folks ain't living in peace, if they don't have joy, I don't want to be connected, because folks are dropping and they leaving here quick, and so we don't ever want to live in those places called regret. And so we can't take anything for granted. What is Dr. James Taylor? He says, living a joyful life is a conscious decision to find joy and peace in the midst of any situation. To live there, you have to consciously be there. Now that's good right there.
Yeah.
Right? To live there, you got to consciously be there. Keep yourself in that place, right?
Yeah.
You make that decision, and to be content. You make that decision to remain positive, right? And so in those moments, you have to, what I always say in the area of finance, you got to be disciplined.
Mhm.
When it comes to
Yes.
joy, you
True.
have to be
Yes.
Yeah.
disciplined,
Yes.
right? You have to guard your ear gates, guard
Oh,
your eye
yes.
gates, you know, those types of things. You have to be disciplined, you have to be intentional. Um, and it's so important that we make up our mind that we have to even uh, we've got to pay attention to our outlook, how we and keep that positive outlook, right? Even in those challenging situations, even in those challenging times, those moments that seems to be unfavorable, you've got to keep a positive outlook, right? And stop looking so much as what is happening to you, and
Mhm.
start looking at what's happening for you,
Yeah.
right? Oftentimes we talk about what's happening to us, what somebody said or what somebody did to us, right? But look at what's happening and what's working out for your good, right? And so it's important that we have and we maintain a positive outlook, even in the negative, even in the challenging moments. You got to make up your mind that I'm going to remain positive. Me living in joy is my business.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's my business.
Yeah.
It's my prerogative.
Yes.
It's my
Yes.
right. It's
Yeah.
my
Yes.
decision, right? And if I'm going to live it with joy, enjoy, and enjoy joy, then I have to make up my mind that I'm going to block all negativity out
Come on.
as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
Because all around us is negativity. And we have to make those conscious decisions that some things don't belong in our space.
Mhm.
Some things, and we have that right to evict anything
Come
and
on.
anybody that is not willing to live in a place called joy and peace. We've got to follow peace with all men, right?
That's right.
And so if we're going to follow peace, you know, then we might as well just grab on to joy. Can we do that? And so
Mhm.
you got to make up your mind that you're going to, people say protect your peace, right? They always say protect your peace. I say guard your joy. Okay,
Mhm.
guard your joy, that I'm not going to let any circumstance, any situation, any person,
Right.
anything come in and rob me of what is rightfully mine.
Mhm.
The joy of the Lord is my strength, right?
Amen.
And so if you rob me of my joy, you rob me of my strength. And so nobody deserves that kind of power, and nobody walks in that authority, right?
Yeah.
That they can just rob you of your strength and your joy. I need my joy, and I ain't playing. My joy is not up for grabs,
Come on.
Right.
right? It's not to be played. We're not playing Russian roulette with my joy.
That's
We're not
right.
doing that, right? Because with all that we go through just in life, we ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
At all.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So what does it look like when you really have or even live in a place called joy? Because oftentimes, you know, we try to prove to people that we have joy. But when you have joy, you don't live to prove.
No.
It's evident.
It's evident.
It's
Yes,
evident.
come
It's
on.
undeniable. When you live in joy, when you have joy and true peace, you don't try to persuade and convince nobody that I've got joy. I don't try to convince nobody that I've got peace. I don't try to convince nobody that I'm blessed. We don't have to convince what is evident,
Come on.
right? It is where we live. It is how we operate, how we move. And so because it's evident, we don't have to, again, prove anything. It is automatically seen. You want to know how I'm doing? You know how I'm doing. I got joy.
Yeah.
Somebody ought to just shout joy.
See it on.
Joy unspeakable and that full of glory. I got joy. And so when you live in that place, your outlook, your view of what you have to deal with and go through is so different.
Yes.
It is so different. You know, that again, if I have to go through trial and tribulation because I have the joy of the Lord, that is my strength. I can go through better. I I can experience those tests and those trials and all of those things that are shaping me, making me, pruning me, and all of that. And I can go through those things with a spirit of peace.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can go through those things and look back and say, you know what? Before I got to this place, I cried about
Come on,
these things.
Right.
Come on.
But now I
Yeah.
don't have
Come
those
on.
tears, or if they're tears of joy and gratitude and gratefulness, right? And so when you actually live again in joy, there's certain things that are just undeniable. Certain things that are undeniable. What y'all got to say? What y'all got to say? Talk to me.
I think of how, the word talks about weeping may endure for a night.
Yes.
And, but we know that joy comes in the morning.
Yeah.
It never says that we run out of that joy.
Mhm.
So we all experience our night seasons, but we all experience that morning, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like you still have joy left over from the last time you went through. From that last morning where the joy came, that carried you through the next season of low and all of that. So when that morning came, when joy came, you got more joy.
Mhm.
So it was just steady storing up. So I feel like personally, that's why I haven't lost my mind, because I still got joy from all the times I went through. It's just storing up. He just gave me some more joy for this next one. Okay,
trying to tell you.
another morning, I got some more joy. Now I got some more joy. I got some more joy. So I don't feel like it's something that runs out, because we're steady getting it, and it's a promise.
Yes.
So yeah, that's
It's a promise for me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a promise. It's a
Yeah,
promise. The
it
joy of
is.
the Lord
It
is
is
going to
our
be your
strength.
strength.
It's our
Absolutely.
strength. He's our strength.
Absolutely. And no matter how many times you have people, places, and things that will come up against you to try to rob you of your joy. But because joy has been promised to me, because joy is my portion, joy is my
Yeah.
strength,
Yes.
joy has been given to me, is for me to gravitate toward that joy, to hold on to that joy. Again, is for me to make that conscious decision that the street of joy is where I want to be. So again, not that we do not have highs and lows,
Right.
but one thing about it, my joy is mine. And I operate in my joy regardless. I may shed a tear, but it's not because I don't have joy.
Yeah.
Some things I may feel, I might feel broken sometimes, but that's okay. I still got joy, because guess what? Since the joy of the Lord is my strength, when I get low or when I feel like my joy is missing, I just gravitate toward where my joy come from.
Mhm.
And that's toward the Lord, right? And so the Lord promised me joy, right? So I have a right to command my joy.
Mhm.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right. And actually, if we look at it, joy is a fruit of the spirit.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so joy as us being a part of because the Bible says that the fruit of the spirit is what? Love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness. All of these things are fruits of the spirit. And so it's our right
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
to operate in these
Mhm.
places. It is our inheritance
Mhm.
to, because Jesus went to the cross to make sure that we operate and live in joy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We talk about sin and all the rest. He took our sin to the
Mhm.
cross. He took our sickness to the cross, and everything that came to rob you of your peace,
Mhm.
rob you of your joy, he took all that to the cross too.
Yes.
And so all of that is a part of this process as a believer. And so I have the fruits of the spirit. And so the Bible tells us that we're to rejoice in the Lord.
Yeah.
And we ain't preaching to you, but we
Come
are a
on,
bunch of
right.
preachers,
Yeah.
And so
Really.
but we rejoice. Yeah, you preaching too. I used to sit at the table with all these preachers, right?
What sound effect?
Say what?
So we gotta count it all joy. The Bible
Yes.
tells us to count it all joy, right? And consider it joy. And so it's so important that we make up our minds that again, because it's exhausting to fake it.
Yes, it
Telling
is.
you.
It's exhausting to fake it. It's exhausting to have to play like you got joy,
Mm-hmm.
but tormented.
Ooh,
It's exhausting
hmm
to be tormented, but try to prove to the world we have joy. Don't you know that we have nothing to prove to a world because the world can't give it?
hmm
The world can't give you joy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, therefore, you exhaust yourself trying to prove to
Yeah.
people I'm in
Yeah.
a joyful
Yeah.
place, ain't got nothing to do with nobody. This is a God thing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing. The relationship between you and joy has to be personal.
Yes.
You're trying to make your joy experience based upon proving to other people or based upon your circumstance or based upon where you are. And none of that matters because
Right.
joy
It
is
don't
eternal,
matter.
right?
Right.
Joy is something that's supposed to be everlasting. And so my relationship with joy is about me and joy.
Right.
I have
That's
a
right.
decision to choose whether I'm going to choose joy or chaos, whether I'm
Right.
going to choose peace or hell, whether I'm going to, be
Right.
functional or dysfunctional.
Right.
It's my decision to, like you were saying, gravitate or be with one accord with joy. And sitting here trying to, again, convince someone else that I have it while not really obtaining it is a bit of insanity.
Mhm.
Like, it's a little bit crazy to try to present myself as having joy and still be void of it. What is the point? Like, what's the point? I think the mindset will be, let me actually try to get to a place of having joy for real, authentically. But I'm doing myself a disservice if I'm just trying to present that thing and, like you said, still being tormented, still having issue because I have not gotten
Right.
myself together. Stop exhausting yourself, wearing yourself out, looking tired.
Well,
You
a
can't
lot of
fake
people, I'm sorry. A lot of people really don't even know what authenticity is.
Well, there's another word.
They need some basic learning or some other tools to help them get to certain places, right? Because when they're living in the space of authenticity, then they will know that there is no faking there. So possibly they have to learn. That's their issue, and they don't know what it is. So watch this. They don't even think it's fake. Right? Because they don't know the difference. They don't know what authenticity is. So to them, it's not fake. And some of them doing the best that they can because they really don't know what it is.
Oh boy.
My Lord.
Help Jesus.
So, do you all believe that joy is a personal journey?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Most definitely.
You have to find it yourself. You have to go after joy. And joy is God. So you have to go after God in order to get that joy, in order to get that peace, in order to walk in it. I've not always been in the place that I am right now. At one point was living in a place of depression, a place of not liking myself, not loving myself. But I had to find and seek God. I had to go before God and say, Lord, here I am. Help me, because I'm miserable.
Right.
Help me.
Right.
You have to admit you're miserable.
Right.
I can't look at somebody else and say, oh, you're miserable. No, help me, Lord. I need some help.
Right.
You have to recognize and own up that you messed up.
Right.
And you, Lord, I need you to give me the joy. I need you to give me the strength to walk out this depression, to walk out this negativity, to walk out this hatred, this stuff that's destroying me,
Right.
that's blocking me from being happy.
Yes.
And once you find God and once you yield to him, he will give you just what you need.
Yes, he will. So let me ask you, because you said you went through that season where you were depressed, you didn't like yourself, those types of things, right? Because there was no joy there. There was no peace there, right? And what is some of the collateral damage when you are in those seasons? Because people don't realize that when you are depressed, when you are in a space where you don't even like you, there's collateral damage, right? So what was some of the collateral damage?
Separation.
Mm.
I was separated from people.
Yeah.
I backed away from people. Sometimes I still do,
Mhm.
but I find God.
Right.
I go to the rock, but it makes you yourself a person that will depart, or you yourself will find yourself doing things to people, hurting people, saying things you shouldn't say,
Right.
doing things you shouldn't do,
Right.
not caring,
Right.
not loving, all those things that are not of God. You will be acting them out,
Right.
but thinking you're okay
Right.
Mhm.
when you're not okay.
That's the
Right.
collateral damage.
You
Right.
have to
Yes.
admit
Yes.
that something's wrong with me.
Yes. Yes.
Something's wrong with me and I need help. The problem is we don't want to admit that
That's right.
something's wrong with us.
That's right.
We want to say it to everybody else,
Yeah.
but we don't want to admit that I got a problem,
Right.
that I need help. I need to go to the floor. I need to go to the altar. I need prayer. I need to seek God.
Yes.
I need his face. I need his hand. I need Jesus.
Right.
We don't want to do that. We want to point the finger,
Yeah.
but we don't want to go to him for ourselves.
Yeah. And so the collateral damage is that you mishandle people.
Mhm.
When you have no joy and when you don't love yourself, when you don't like yourself, because it's a lot of people that, we get upset with how people move and how they act. However, some people just don't like themselves.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people, there's collateral damage. They have no peace. They have no
Mhm.
joy. And some people, they love to bring the same pain upon others that
Yeah.
they're dealing with. So sometimes the way people move and act, sometimes the things they say and all the rest is because they really don't like who they see in the mirror.
Yeah.
And they have
they
no
wake up
peace.
mad.
Yeah, they have no joy, and they don't love themselves. They're angry within themselves, and so they have this repetitive cycle where everything and everybody, everybody and everything is the problem.
Yeah.
But oftentimes never take an introspective look at the fact that no, it's me. Because when you are lacking joy, you miss what you should be seeing.
Yeah.
Right. And so in that moment, there's a lack of joy, and you'd miss the fact that you could be the reason
Yeah.
for the lack of joy.
Yeah.
So there is a collateral damage, and people have to realize that there's collateral damage because, again, like you say, you back up. You isolate yourself, that type of thing. So that means that somebody is missing out on the authentic you.
Yeah.
Somebody's missing out on the joyful you, the sweet you, right? Because you get to a place where you withdraw yourself back up. You can't be yourself because there's a lack of joy. And so sometimes we punish people, we're angry at people that just don't have joy within.
And we don't even know why we upset,
And we don't know.
because we can't recognize the you.
My God.
I want to. I saw a couple comments
Go
here.
ahead.
One from Sharonda Brown, and I just want to say I appreciate your openness to share with us. She says, I was diagnosed years ago with major depression with anxiety, and it took me time to do the work with the supplies I was given, and I did the work. She then said, my collateral damage was self-medication, overeating, trust level plummeted. My
Yeah.
children and ex-husband didn't understand my go-through. And that is
Jesus.
Yeah.
so very true. I can identify with all that you have said. And it's true. It shows up in different ways, the collateral damage. It might not always be outwardly towards
That's
other
right.
people,
Right.
but like when you say self-medication, been there, done that. When you say, you're isolating, so you're not around people, right?
Right.
Still collateral damage, when you are overeating or not eating for some, right? Still collateral damage. You're causing that. You become the collateral damage, right? Yourself. And so it just shows up in different ways for different people when you don't have joy. And then when you're in a space where you just gotta admit and do the work, something clicks. Because I've been in that space too of having depression and anxieties and all the rest. And there was just that moment for me. I don't know how everyone else's work, where it's just like, okay, God, I'm at the lowest of the low.
Yes,
There's got to be something more than this. There has to be something what's left? Ain't nothing else I could lose. Ain't nothing else I can get took from me.
Right.
There's no worse that it can get. This is the bottom of the barrel. What now, Jesus?
Right.
You know, that moment of then you got to look at you, right? Then you have to start reflecting. But that I truly thank you, Sharada, for your openness.
Thank you so much.
And you can't be upset at what you see. Get the help from the Lord that you need.
Yeah. But you got to admit that you need help.
Right. Have to.
And that's the problem, because most times we repeat these cycles in life because we have gone so many years and decades of pointing the finger.
Right.
It's somebody else's fault.
Right.
It's somebody else's problem. But let's be honest. How many times do we rob ourselves of pure joy?
Yeah.
Come on.
How many times do we put ourselves in situations that robbed us of our joy? How many times do we connect to people or let people stay connected to us? And they literally, they were as leeches and sucked the life out of us, sucked the joy out of us, sucked the peace out of us, right? And so we got to take accountability and acknowledge that a lot of the things we've allowed to happen goes back to the sermon I preach. You did it to yourself, right? So we've got to acknowledge these moments, but where do we go from there? You see what I'm saying? Where do we go from those moments when we acknowledge that, okay, I allow myself to be in this position. I opened the door. You know, I walked into this, that type of thing, or I overlooked this.
Right.
You know, I ignored this.
Right.
You know, and now I'm at a place where I'm in depression. Now I'm at a place where I'm suicidal. Now I'm at a place where I'm confused about my right now as well as my future.
Right.
So we have to acknowledge and admit, recognize and admit that we allow these things to happen. But it's not until we acknowledge, and then also not just acknowledge, we have to get people away from us who thinks our negative behavior is okay.
Yes. Yes.
Who thinks it's okay for,
Yes.
because some people love the fact that you're down and out.
Yes.
Some people love the fact that you are depressed. Some people love the fact that you don't have joy. Some people love the fact that you broke, busted, and disgusted.
Come on.
Some people love that because they feel that they have a level up on you.
Yeah.
You know, and so we got to acknowledge those moments and do a fruit inspection.
Come on.
Pay attention to the fruit that is either bearing around you or not. You better pay attention and start doing fruit inspections and making sure you got the right people in your circle. Because again, don't see me depressed and let me stay there. Don't see me dysfunctional and let me stay there. Don't see me having moments of happiness and not experiencing true joy and let me stay there. If you love me, help me get out of this. Help me escape this. Help me recognize that I am better than this, right? And so woe be unto them. They should be ashamed. People should be ashamed when you watch your fellow sister and brother move to the point that it causes them to miss the true joy and the peace of God. I don't want nobody around me that don't love me enough to say, come on, you got to do better than that. You don't love me enough to tell me, come on and get yourself together, get your mind together, get your heart together. Come on, change your conversation, change your placement, all of the rest. If you love me, help me.
Even if it gets to the point where the person who I'm telling don't want to hear it,
come
put
on,
me out of their life, don't want to speak to me
come
again,
on.
At least that seed has been planted.
At
go. Least when you come to yourself, the first thing you'll say is, wow, she did or he did tell me. You know, because most of us really, we say we want to hear it. If you love me, tell me, but sometimes telling me won't feel right. It does not feel good. And so then we'll make that blame fall on everything and everybody else but us. Is I'm going through this, I'm going through that, is this, that, and the other. And that's okay. And that's fine. But just like you said, Apostle, the bottom line is at least I love you enough to tell you, whether you still love me, whether you accept me, don't accept me, whatever, I'm going to stay right here. You just going to be angry for a minute,
There you go.
but I'm going to stay right
There you
here,
go.
and I'm going to tell you how I feel, what I see, and it's going to be done correct, in order, and in the word, how I feel, what's going on, what I see in you, and that's not like you, because when you know that real person and you see something different that's there, then if we do love one another, we should be able to come to one another and tell, even if we're in a point of not even being receptive of it at that moment.
And we got to make sure that it's love.
That's what's in love. That's what I said.
We have to make sure that God is leading us to tell that person, because you can cause damage as well if you're not God led, because it will affect that person. It will.
Now, as Apostle was speaking, I immediately thought, and Rachel said, check the fruit flies in your basket. My mind went to the fruit bowl, period. Now, you got all these fruit in the basket, right? And sometimes people cannot help you because they're rotten themselves.
Right.
They have the same issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the fruit basket and everything looks good in it, but then you flip that one over and it's rotten. And the reason why that everything else is getting rotten, because that one is in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're checking and inspecting who's connected to you, maybe again you're stuck in your place of dysfunction because they want you to be stuck with them. Going back to misery loves company, you can't tell me or identify my issue because we got the same one.
Right.
And when we
come together,
that's right.
Trauma bonding, we like it. So we're gonna stick
you
with
can't see it.
We're going to stick with this. I can't identify the issue because this is connecting with you.
Yeah.
This is somehow it makes us alike. So this is okay. We can stay here. And again, checking the fruit in your basket. Maybe I was a good fruit. My fruit was good until you came into the basket. And now you have contaminated everything around. It's got to be removed. You got to go. Because
once you admit that thing to yourself, then that basket, you got to learn how to separate. You have to separate yourself from the fruit that's bad. You have, whether it's family members, whatever it
does not matter.
You got to remove yourself because you want to be healed.
I'm telling you.
Apostle Nash say fruit nets are irritating. I'm telling you the
they
truth.
are.
They are.
And no matter how many of them come around you, what you do then is you get rid of them.
You constantly doing.
You don't care how many of them is in my basket or how many of them have became rotten and the rest of them is contaminated, because I make a conscious decision that that's not where I want to be. And I rid myself of the fruit flies and the rotten fruit in the barrel or whatever. So it's always us, right? It's always us being responsible, accountable. And then when you find that, then that's when you can hold someone else accountable, because if you the rotten fruit in the basket, you can't come hold nobody accountable. Let's be real. You stink in there. Yeah. Get it together, right? So, yeah.
So the question is, how do you find joy? This is the next question. How do you find joy in the midst of difficult or challenging situations? How do you find joy in the midst of difficult or challenging situations? Because oftentimes we tell people, oh, go to God in prayer. Right? Go to God in prayer. And we know prayer fixes it all, right? We believe that the effectual fervent prayers of the righteous, they avail much. We believe in prayer, pray without ceasing. We got a lot of word to back up, our prayer relationships. However, as it's first natural, then spiritual, how do you find joy? Or how would you tell someone to kind of find joy in the midst of difficult or challenging situations? Because what happens when it's that individual that feels like God's not hearing me? Or I've been praying and nothing's changing, and that type of thing. How do you help somebody? How do you talk to somebody, encourage somebody? How do you help them to find joy in the midst of these difficult and challenging situations, besides saying just pray about it?
Right.
Because it's easy. And we've heard that in Christendom for years. Oh, just pray about it. Go to the Lord in prayer. He hears and he answers. Yes, he does. However, Are there any other methods, any other things that we could do or encourage someone to do to find joy?
Yeah, I love what Trinetta says right here. She says you find joy during the process. So joy is a byproduct of the process. So you can help someone, or help them get the help that they need. We talk about all the time that they need other help to go with the help. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to help a person by showing them or teaching them or leading them to other avenues so that they can be processed, because the word is there, the word is everything, and I do not take that for granted whatsoever at all. But sometimes I may need some extra added because of traumas that I've been through. So in my process, I have to seek elsewhere so that I can be healed, because we can't heal anybody, but we can definitely give them some information, some advice, and to lead them to where healing may be found during their process, whatever it is that they need to be processed through, so that they can find their joy.
All right.
And I would say, completely left from the spiritual aspect of it, because prayer, we know that works and all of that, right? But I would say, even for me, I have to find like a happy place. Things that make me happy. I love to play. I love to sing. I love music. So I'll go do karaoke. I got hell going on at home.
Got it.
But let me just sing for this moment, however long it is. I'm not thinking about what I'm going through. So now I have joy in something that I find I love to do, or I love to draw. Let me make some stuff. Let me find some things to create. Be creative in my go through. So you got to find like a happy place.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
It is.
It's a balance. The spiritual and the natural. It's a balance. And there's nothing wrong with, because we pray, believe God, but then we got to continue to live too.
Exactly.
Right? And so having that balance in living through the process, living in your go through, because it's not so much about what you're going through, it's how you're going through, right? And so we understand that every day of living in life, you're going to experience something. It's undeniable. We all going to go through something every day of our lives. We're going to have seasons of up and down, in and out, right? But however, we have to find that balance, and we've got to pay attention to how we go through, because there's a lot that I've experienced and I still found joy in the experience. One, because I had to always be reminded that God has never failed me.
Right.
And
That's
so
right.
you got to find something in it. And in the middle of your process, you got to find something that gives you the strength to keep holding on. Right. And so I remember going through some stuff and almost feeling like, why me? Right. Almost at the point where it's like, God, why me? You start feeling victimized and all the rest. However, and there's a lot that, again, people look at this latter part, but in the beginning of my ministry and all the rest, I lost a lot of stuff, I lost a lot. And so, but again, people look on this latter end, but I lost in the beginning. But it got me to a point where I was in depression. I was low, in low places and all the rest, because I didn't understand, how do you lose so much being committed to God? I didn't understand it, because now I know what scripture teaches us and all the rest. However, it's different from when you're going through it. Because me reading and studying it and knowing the scriptures are real, right? And knowing the different parables and all the rest, I get all of that. But it is different when you are actually going through it, when you are in it. It's easy to say, whatever state I'm in, I've learned to be content, until you get in an uncomfortable state. Come on. And then you trying to figure out, Lord, how can I be content in this, right? And so it's, again, easy to tell people how to go through and all of the rest, but it's different. It's different for when you are in the process. And so I had to find joy. I had to look at the fact that there is nothing that I've asked God for that He has not provided. He has not come through with. And so therefore I had to find those things to kind of remind me of the goodness of God.
Come on.
So that way I would be able to obtain and hold on to true joy. Where I couldn't look at what was being lost.
Right.
I had to remember, but what profits a man to gain the world and lose his soul? And so it's possible that this thing could detour you and have you on a path that will cause you to lose out, right? I had to start thinking different. I had to start seeing different, processing different, because I realized it is not God's plan to steal our joy. That's not who He is. He gave it to us, right? And so then I have to recognize, well, whose plan is it? Because it's Satan's plan to come to steal, kill, and to destroy. So that's not the plan of God. So I had to realize that, okay, this is possibly something to discourage me. This is something to knock me off my course. This is something to shake me. So let me go ahead and think of all of the good things and all of the God things that He has done, and let me exchange that mindset of feeling like the victim. Feeling like woe is me, or having, as the old saints would say, that poor little old me disease, right? That plum disease. I got to get rid of that, and I got to remember, but God is still faithful. All right. No, I'm going through this right now, but I've been through something like this before, right? Yeah. And be reminded that our light affliction is but for a moment. That thing that we think is heavy, He says is light, and it's just for a moment. It's a season, and everything that we go through has an expiration date. Everything we go through has an expiration date. So I'm gonna go through it with grace. I'm gonna go through it with mercy, and I'm gonna go through it with God, because He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. He said, I'll be with you always, even until the ends of the earth. And so because I got a promise that He'll be there, then my go through is different. Right. And so because my go through is different, I find joy in these moments, right? I find joy in the moments of the storm. I find joy when I'm in my low place. Joy when I'm in the pit. I can see the valley. I can see the mountaintop from the valley. I can see a better place. I can see a greater place. I can see that from wherever I am. I'm an eagle. I'm an eagle, right? And so when you are eagles, you don't worry about your process.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what the outcome is going to be. One, we the righteous of God. So we know what again, we got to realize again that the bottom line is joy is your birthright.
Yes, it is.
And you don't let nobody steal your joy. You don't let nobody. When I tell you, I don't care what comes, what goes, who comes, who goes. I don't let. I'm not gonna let you steal my joy. It is. I will not be robbed of my joy. It may hurt. It may feel uncomfortable, but you are not that powerful at all. Not that. And the devil ain't that powerful. Come on. His imps, his demonic foes, his diabolical assignments. Nothing is that powerful to snatch me from my place called joy. I live on Joy Lane. What are you talking about? This is where I belong, and nothing and nobody has the power to rob me of what God has freely given to me. Well, I feel like I'm preaching, but I'm not trying to preach. We on the podcast. We on the podcast. Welcome to the Graceful Exchange Live podcast. We talking about living in joy, having joy unspeakable, joy for real. We got joy for real. Joy for real. We got joy for real. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Joy unspeakable. Joy full of glory. We got joy. I got joy.
Yes,
you got joy?
Yes, sir.
You got joy?
I got joy.
You got joy?
Got it.
You got it?
Woo.
All right, we got joy. Y'all got joy. Won't you type? Come on, type in here. I got joy. I got joy. You better, girl.
What she say?
She said, I love y'all. It's 10:30. Joy.
She did that when she was on the podcast. Boy, I tell you about these. Something about when you get older, you start. Boy, I tell you, when you get older, 10:30 is like 3:30 in the morning. She is too funny.
Help us, Jesus.
But I got joy.
funny.
Somebody look, type in the comments, I got joy. We know it's late, but
Yes.
type in the comments, I got joy. I got joy. Come on. I got joy.
Yes.
Joy, joy, joy. Joy unspeakable.
When you
And
got,
that full of
when you
glory.
got joy, you see the storm coming.
Come
You
on.
get excited anyway
Uh-huh.
because you know you're overcomer.
Come on. Come on. Come on. When you got joy, your go through is so different.
Yeah.
It is.
Your go through, your mentality,
Yes.
your heart posture.
Yes.
When you've got joy, a lot of that is so different
Different.
than the average. You don't even look at people the same.
At
Yeah.
all.
When you got real joy, you don't look at people the
You
same.
don't.
Sometimes I sit back and I just laugh at folks
Yeah.
because it's something about when you got real joy.
Real joy.
I ain't trying to prove to you
Mhm.
that I got joy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I ain't got to take a picture
Yeah.
to prove I got
At
joy.
all.
And you don't have to prove it to them no way because they see it on you.
Come on. It's my aroma.
And you know they gonna see it because they always snooping and looking and
Let
you
them
know.
snoop and look.
So yeah.
But the thing is,
You gonna see it.
when people have true joy, it
Mhm.
becomes contagious.
It
Yes,
does.
it does.
Right?
Yes, it does.
And people will begin to seek you out
Yes, they
Mhm.
will.
because it's something about you that says, I've mastered how to deal with life's troubles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They gonna seek you out. People gonna
Yeah.
watch you. They gonna watch you because they want to know how you still
How you-
smiling in seasons that should have broken you and destroyed you. I know, folks. Let me tell you, I already know people be watching me because they trying to figure out how this man keep on going. How does he keep pressing? Where does his strength come from?
Come on.
Because after all, with all the people that turned their back on me, all the people that betrayed me, all the people that talked about me, lied on me, and everything else, and I still got the true
Right.
joy of the Lord, a joy that I'm not trying to prove, a joy that I don't have to rationalize and try to figure it out. I ain't got this ain't fake. I got joy for real. Why? Because Jesus covers the righteous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Encouraging
I
people.
just feel
No,
like
you can keep
I feel-
lurking. All you gonna see is joy.
all you gonna see is joy. Keep watching me. All you gonna see is joy.
You don't realize who you encouraging
Yes,
with
Lord.
your
Yes.
jokes.
Yeah.
Come
You
on.
don't realize it.
Yes.
So you just keep living in joy
Mhm.
and let them come on
Look, I
live
went
in it with
I
you.
went through these storms, and what I kept saying, nothing missing and nothing,
Nothing
broken.
broken.
Yeah.
That you can go through in life and
Yeah.
nothing will be missing
Yeah.
and nothing will be broken. And you can enjoy the true joy of the Lord
Yeah.
Yes.
without compromise.
Yes.
Nothing missing,
Hmm.
nothing broken.
Nothing broken.
Come what may, nothing missing, nothing broken. Ain't gotta compromise, ain't gotta pay,
Ain't got to.
ain't gotta do none of these things.
This
All
joy
you
is
gotta
free.
do is stand still
Yeah.
and see the salvation of the Lord. That's living in joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's living in joy, where you don't have to try to persuade and don't have to try to compromise
Mm.
to have joy. It ain't real anyway. If you got to persuade and
No.
you got to compete and you got to compare,
Fake.
at the end of the day, I ain't getting. Let me tell you, I ain't putting a picture of me. You better see me on the podcast. I ain't taking a picture for you to prove to you I got joy. I ain't doing a video to prove to you I got joy.
Come
I ain't
on.
gonna gather 100 people around me because that's fake.
Yeah.
True joy is when I'm at home by myself. When I'm looking in the mirror, I like what I see.
Yeah.
Ain't sitting here hating who's in the mirror.
Mhm.
And who looking at you? Hey.
True joy. I got joy, and that's full of glory.
Keep on looking.
I'm telling you.
It may rub off.
What y'all saying on here? What y'all saying on here? I didn't miss it all because I feel like I'm preaching. I'm trying not to. I'm just, y'all know that that's a part of us. You know I get passionate. I talk with passion. Shanta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Glory. All right. So, again, let me see where I want to go because we're about to close. Give us about 5 minutes. Y'all hang out with us for about 5 minutes. Why I feel y'all. Why I feel y'all? I ain't used none of these things. What y'all laughing at? What's happening? Y'all talking about me? We gonna start. We not gonna have audience, a live audience no more. Y'all talking about me because I said give me 5 minutes.
They count down.
We closing this live podcast audience out. No more. We
He's
not gonna have
wide
nobody
awake
in the
now.
room.
He's wide awake.
I'm
Right.
telling you. I'm telling you. You see it? You see it?
Yep.
You see that shift?
Help,
You saw the shift in things?
Yes, I did.
I was sleeping. Now I'm woke. Let's go. Let's go.
3 minutes.
Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
He felt his strength.
Then he
Y'all
said
better
right
quit
up.
playing. I'm ready.
He felt his strength.
Uh-oh, y'all.
Oh, that was new.
That's a new one. Come on, we getting good. Getting good.
What they said? Whoopee.
I don't know.
I don't know what they said.
You have 3 minutes, sir.
3 minutes.
Y'all better leave me alone. Y'all better leave.
It's a long round of applause.
Right.
Come on.
no.
Oh, clap your hands, all you people. And shout unto God with a voice of triumph. Y'all ain't ready for no church. Hey, y'all ain't ready.
Oh, geez.
Oh, y'all ready now? Come on.
2.
Forget y'all. Boy, they ready to go home. They boring. I gotta find me some night owls, because these seniors that I got up here.
Yes,
Pastor Mo celebrated her birthday yesterday. Come on. Pastor Mama Mo, she made 66 yesterday. 1 year for every book of the
I
Bible.
need another hour sleep.
The graceful exchange.
You are something else. She like, I need a whole nother hour of sleep. No, you don't. What's tomorrow? Thursday. Oh, good sake. It ain't Friday, because I'm going to say you be up at the break of dawn praying.
On
Yes, I
thing.
do.
She be up at the break of dawn.
Yes, I do.
I got to catch the replay every week.
That's all right. Your 5 minutes are up.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Lord.
I got a bad feeling about
Help,
this.
Lord.
I got a bad feeling about this. I got a bad feeling about this.
Hey, what happened? Hey, what happened? What is happening, Graceful? Y'all shouldn't. I forgot this thing was over here. That's what happened.
Oh,
I start crying.
I'm having fun. Y'all ain't having fun yet. They not having fun. Boy, I tell you, I gotta give me some more co-hosts. They sleepy. I gotta find some late night co-hosts, right? You know, them after dark co-hosts. So that way we can stay on from 10 to about 1.
Ooh,
oh boy.
Ooh,
I'm out.
ooh, I picked up your everything, right? Where my blessed oil? I need to throw some blessed oil. That's the more like, yeah, okay. All right, so I think I'm done. Actually, I think I'm done. I,
Apostle Nash say, take the toy away.
oh God. Well, thank you for joining the Graceful Exchange Live podcast. We have had a time tonight. We talked about what we talked about.
Living a joyful life.
I'm surprised you saw that.
I know I couldn't,
Living a joyful life.
but the joy of the Lord is my
Y'all see, we're living a joyful life.
This is what joy. I'm telling you. This is what joy is like.
All about.
This is what it's all about. This is what it's about. You got me stirred up.
No,
Glory God.
This is what it's about.
Hallelujah.
unstir.
This is what it's about. Having the right people in your life.
And we love you.
We love you. We love
Even
you.
when they want to go home.
Yeah,
We love you.
Even when they tired.
glory.
We still here.
They sleepy.
We still here.
Bless his name. Jesus. Sleep come down.
And the people on here with me.
The people.
The peoples.
The people's
The
on
peoples.
the
The
podcast.
peoples is here.
All the way from Arizona.
The peoples is here all the way from Arizona. I'm loving it. Who is here from Arizona? Marlon.
Oh,
Sister Hattie was on here. Mama Hattie. And then I did see Bishop Winston. He's from Arizona too. Apostle Lay, yes, I saw him too. He's from Atlanta. Glory. Glory be to God.
I had some Ohio folk. I
We
saw.
had Ohio. Come on. Come on with the global podcast.
Some
Folk like,
Washington, D.C. folk.
come on. Now they like, we trying to go to bed.
hallelujah.
Mhm.
So, hey, y'all ain't supposed to be slumbering and sleeping. Somebody say that's God, huh? He neither slumbers nor sleep. Well, we don't have to slumber and sleep either if we got his characteristics.
Mm.
All y'all look sleepy. I don't want to bother with people that like to go to sleep. What are folk that like to stay up all night? I know Apostle Nash on here. She stays up all night. I know she
How about I'm laughing
she
so
is.
hard?
She is here all night. I need the people that stay up all night. Yes, I do. You know, not these folk that like to go to sleep.
Mighty Jesus. You done took 10 minutes, man, ago.
What are you talking about?
Oh.
The show was over 10 minutes ago.
I know, but we still on.
She talking crazy. She's snoring in the mic. What is happening?
Oh, Jesus, Lord.
Man, y'all who just joined us, if you want the serious part, you're going to have to watch the replay. We talked about living a joyful life, and we have displayed on this latter end what it's like to live a joyful life. We have been acting silly on this last end, but that's all right. We got joy.
We have joy.
Yeah,
Joy of the
Joy
unspeakable
unspeakable.
joy.
Hallelujah.
Trying to tell you, we got joy for real. Thank y'all so
My
much
Lord.
for joining the Graceful Exchange podcast. We hope and pray that something was said that has encouraged, empowered, uplifted you on tonight. I enjoyed this, living a joyful life.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? This was good dialogue, good talk.
Yes.
And so, again, it was a graceful exchange. We're so grateful, again, that you would allow us to come into your space and share our heart and engage you, right? And so, please know that your joy belongs to you. You have nothing to prove. You have nothing to prove to anybody else. If you were to kind of fall off the face of the earth, can't nobody tell you that you wasn't operating in joy. They don't know. Keep folk out your business. Live your life. Enjoy. Live holy. Live righteous. Do what
In
the Lord
Jesus'
tell
name.
you to do, right? But have joy. Whatever you do, don't fake the funk. All right? Whatever you do, don't. You ain't got to be fake and phony with it. Have joy for real. Joy unspeakable. It belongs to you. It's your birthright. All right? So please, again, know that it is a part of the fruit of the Spirit. And don't let nobody take your fruit. Have a good night. Again, this concludes our show, Living a Joyful Life. What does that look like? God bless.
A graceful exchange, uniting minds. A graceful exchange, embracing diversity. A graceful exchange, honoring God. A graceful exchange, where wisdom meets harmony in every conversation. Uniting minds, a graceful exchange, embracing diversity. A graceful exchange, honoring God. A graceful exchange, where wisdom meets harmony in every conversation. Uniting minds, a graceful exchange, embracing diversity. A graceful exchange, honoring God. A graceful exchange, where wisdom meets harmony in every conversation. Uniting minds, a graceful exchange, embracing diversity. A graceful exchange, honoring God. A graceful exchange, where wisdom meets harmony in every conversation. Uniting minds, a graceful exchange, embracing diversity. A graceful exchange, honoring God. A graceful exchange, where wisdom meets harmony in every conversation.